join us, and he's got one coming, Keith. Austin Underwood, going to be a player to watch in the future for the Deshler Tigers.
Yeah, I understand he's going to be one of the linemen that's going to help block for a host of backs that's coming up.
Taj Bates and company.
Yeah.
Caleb Henry to kick off. Johnson will get the ball to begin the third quarter. 28-21, Deshler on top. Good to see our good friend Billy Weatherby out to the game tonight. And I tell you, Mr. Weatherby, one of the most faithful supporters of Deshler High School there is. Comes out rain or shine, makes the away games most of the time, and he's been supporting Deshler Tiger football for probably longer than he wants to remember.
Yeah, he used to tell me about watching my older brother play some too. So yeah, that was a
end-over-end kick fielded by Rice at the 15-yard line on the far hash. And taking up field, picking his way and run out of bounds is Mason Rice at the 35-yard line. So 20-yard return for Johnson, and they'll be in business. 1st and 10 as Matt Blazer, Chris May, Evan Ferguson, Ilkin Mills, J.R. White, J.D. Williams, Jonathan Bates, Dion Ballou, Summerhill, Dylan Boston, Jamel Marsh. That's your Deshler 11 to begin the third quarter of play in this regular season finale, with the Tigers on top by a touchdown to begin the third quarter.
One good thing that did come out of this, Jimmy, to be another week of making some adjustments at halftime, talking about some things, playing your position, keeping containment, and trying to control their speed a little bit.
Twin receivers to either side, shotgun for McCray, the quarterback, Ronnie McCray. And he'll give to Sublett and Evan Ferguson there to make the stop as he crashed in from his defensive end spot. Ilkin Mills there from the far tackle to help as well. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Good defense, Tigers.
Yeah, and we want to establish ourselves early, quick here, and make them punt and get the ball back. And like I said, take back over this game, and it's going to start with good defense.
2nd and 10. Blazer on the far side at the end, and then Ferguson on the near side. Then you got Mills and May in the middle. 3 receivers in a bunch over here, lined up one behind the other. 2 receivers doing the same thing to the left side. Empty backfield for McCray. He's going to throw it out on a quick hit to the 25-yard line, and now trying to reverse his field is the receiver running a mile. And let's see, he finally runs out of bounds after about a 2-yard gain maybe, but he came from this near side, folks, on the Deshler side, and all the way back across the field, and actually shocked Matt Blazer, who had stayed at home, and he's like, man, I just saw him throw it over to the far side, and here you come back.
Yeah, I don't believe it was designed that way. Like you said, he stood up and threw it all the way across over here, and we had it played so well that I think he was just going to try to come inside the hash mark and turn up, and we just kept having guys fill his lanes till he went to the other side of the field.
We'll say it like I heard one last week. He threw it over here, and they ran over there. 3rd down, 10. Twin receivers to either side. Here comes Boston on the blitz. McCray setting up the screen, and he's got it complete, but good coverage defensively by Deshler. J.D. Williams staying at home and helped out by J.R. White. And it's 4th and 10, and the Deshler defense holds to begin the third quarter, leading by a touchdown, 28-21. Big defensive stand.
Yeah, good play by J.D. Williams, Jimmy, a guy who's just kept working himself in there. He's in there probably, I guess, for Jackson tonight, and really sort of made a perfect call right there for Dylan Boston coming hard up the middle, and they had to screen to the right side, but J.D. Williams stayed at home and did a great job.
Tim, stick a nose in there. Coach John Mothershed has called timeout. He's talking with the officials. Let's see if we can get a report there. He has the white hat and the line judge on this side. And I don't know if it's chop blocking he's discussing or what.
Well, I can't hear him. I don't want to get too close. I know Coach Mothershed didn't seem very happy when he came out at the half. I got a feeling there was a pretty stern talk at the half, and the assistant coaches seem to be staying away from him as well as the players. So,
yeah, I know that feeling. 4th down, 10 now. Johnson, after the timeout, did not discuss anything. Sent Coach Jones out to talk to the defense, and Coach Mothershed spent all his time just a discussion, not angrily, Keith, just a discussion with the officials. And it'll be 4th down and 10, ball to 35, and Ballou and Bates will drop deep for Deshler, and the Tigers looking for the fake as they've got all linebackers, Jamel Marsh, Boston, and Summerhill, all looking for the fake from Johnson. 28-21 Tigers just underway here in the third quarter. Fairview will roll into Howard Chapel next week. Good snap. Sublette will have it away. It's short kick again, and it'll bounce out of bounds at the Deshler Tiger 38-yard line. So good field position for Micah Crunk and company as Foster, Gardner, Ballou, Cole, Norwood, May, Zach, Parker Wright, DeAnthony Summerhill are in the game for the Deshler Tigers. Matt Blazer as well, going both ways tonight here in the early going of the third. 1st and 10 Deshler, ball to 39. We'll call it to 38 now. 38-yard line, 5-man front, 3 linebackers in there, daring the Tigers to run, and run they have, as Parker Wright is just 0 for 1 on the night, only 1 pass attempt. Wright with a quick give, Jay Gardner. Gardner's got a hole and still on his feet. Just tough running out to the 46-yard line, gain of 8 on the play, so good first down run, 2nd and 2 for Deshler.
Yeah, good run right up the middle, Jimmy, after the defense did an excellent job coming out, holding them on 3 quick downs, making them punt, giving the offense good starting field position at the 38. Now we're already out across the 45-yard line after about a 7-yard gain.
Second, we'll call it 2 yards to go for Deshler, 28-21. Let's see if the Tigers can get some breathing room here on their opening possession of the second half. Gardner, Summerhill in the backfield. They'll give to DeAnthony around the right side. He's got a first down. Summerhill inside Jaguar territory to the 45 goes DeAnthony Summerhill. So back-to-back carries by the fullback and the tailback, 8 yards apiece, and it's 1st and 10 Deshler, and that's what the Tigers do so well behind the running of Gardner and Summerhill.
Yeah, good job both guys, and good job that time pulling by Matt Blazer and getting out and throwing a big block, and DeAnthony cutting up inside of him for a nice gain.
1st and 10 at the 45. It's Crunk, Blazer, and May, and then Zach, Blazer and Foster, and then Zach, May, and Norwood. They'll give to Ballou from his wingback spot, and Dion Ballou spinning his way to the 35, a gain of 9, and we'll call it 2nd and less than a yard for the Deshler Tigers. So a little more upbeat and more of an upbeat tempo for Deshler here to begin the third.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I think Tim told us something right there that somebody probably told him on the sidelines. You can tell that they've got a pretty good talking to at halftime, and they've come out moving around a little quicker.
2nd down, less than a yard. Minor splits way out, and then it's Gardner and Summerhill. Parker Wright wants DeAnthony on the other side and gets it. Good leadership there, and he'll give to Summerhill around the left side, and he's got the first down to near the 30-yard line, a gain of about 5 for DeAnthony Summerhill, the senior, and it'll be 1st and 10 Deshler Tigers. So a methodical ground game here, getting the job done for Deshler as they've marched it from inside their own 40 down to the Johnson 30.
Yeah, just clipping off 5, 7, 8, 9 yards at a time, and just great job blocking up front, controlling the line of scrimmage. The back's doing a good job of getting what's there.
Summerhill with 13 carries for 71 yards, and then Gardner with 5 carries for 40 yards. 1st and 10. Minor in motion. They'll give to Gardner over the right side. He's got a hold. Jay Gardner. Let's give him 8 more on the carry to stay with his average for the night, and it'll be 2nd down and 2 now for the Deshler Tigers at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, and this will wear you down too, and kind of, if you're Johnson, it kind of take the spirit out of you, with the momentum had swung so much to their side, and be a good time for Deshler just to take it right back.
28-21, Tigers on top. First drive of the second half, 7:45 to go in the third quarter. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. They'll give to Gardner over the right side. He's looking, bounce it outside. He'll have the first down, still on his feet. Inside the 15-yard line. Tim Ballantyne, another good, tough run there. That's another Tiger first down.
Jimmy, he's just refusing to go down. He's running really hard, really focused, and just dragging people, running over people.
7 yards.
Lots of effort.
And a hit at the line of scrimmage kept those feet moving.
Yeah, just kept churning and bouncing off the linebackers until finally they wrapped his legs up for about another 8 or 9 yard gain.
1st and 10, Tigers ball at the Johnson 15. Tigers on a march. Wright wants one in motion. Now he's seeing Summerhill in motion. Busted play. Wright scrambling for his life, and he's going to throw it away out of bounds. Good job, Parker Wright, as it was a busted play. Wanted one in motion and couldn't quite get it done, and so Wright just rolls out under pressure, throws it away, and it's 2nd and 10 at the 15. It was intended for Kai Cole out from his wide receiver spot on a flag route.
Yeah, that's why sometimes if you don't really understand, what's going on, you just look at how many they complete or whatever. That was really an excellent play. He rolled out, was fixing to get sacked, right. An 8-yard loss, so he throws it out of bounds, leaves a 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 8.
Cole splits to the left, double wing set. Summerhill in motion. They'll give to him around the left side. He's got Zach leading the way. DeAnthony Summerhill on a penalty play is in for the touchdown, but it may come back on a hold. Let's wait on the call. It's at the 16-yard line is the flag. Summerhill with what would have been his 2nd touchdown of the night, and it'll be nullified by a holding call against the Deshler Tigers. 28-21, Deshler on top. First round of the playoffs, Coach John Mothershed, you may have heard through Tim Ballantyne's field mic, he wants a number on the play. And Kai Cole checking out of the game, Will Miner in his place. That will back the Tigers up to the 25-yard line. 2nd down and 20 now. Boy, that's a big call in this ball game. Big play. Nullifies a 15-yard great run with some excellent blocking by Jason Zach out there. 2nd and 20 now, right under center. And he's going to throw it. He's got Gardner wide open out in the flat, and he'll finally dump it off to him. Able to hang on is Gardner. I don't know how he had to turn around to catch the ball. But that's one of those keys. You want him to hit him a little bit earlier there. Plenty of running room had he got it on out to him, but it'll gain about 8 yards and be a more manageable 3rd down and 12 now for Deshler.
Yeah, get us down to about a 3rd and 12, and this is a play right here, where we need another one of our 7, 8, 9-yard gains like we were clicking off out here at the midfield in case we do have to go for it on 4th.
3rd down now. Jonathan Bates splits way out to the left side. Full house backfield. And they'll give to Ballou around the left side. He's looking for a block and got one. Dion Ballou, yes, Tiger touchdown. 17 yards for Dion Ballou on 3rd and 12 for his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Tigers go on top, 34-21, halfway through the 3rd quarter of play.
Yeah, just a buck sweep that time. Slipped Dion in at tailback and just gave it to him. Good blocking, and he just picked his hole and then gave it that little burst of speed on into the end zone.
So big extra point coming up for Caleb Henry once again, and we've had 2 tonight that have not cleared the upright. So let's see if we can get this one done. Chris May on the snap. Good snap. Morris has it down. The extra point is up and good right down the middle, folks. 35-21. Tigers respond big time here to begin the 3rd quarter of play. You're listening to Tiger Football on the Big Dog. Back after this 30-second timeout. Welcome back to Howard Chapel Stadium. 9 plays, 62 yards in impressive fashion. One 8-yard pass play and the others on the ground. It was Gardner and Summerhill leading the way, and then Dion Ballou takes it in from 17 yards out for the Deshler score.
Yeah, nice statement made by the offense right there after the defense came out and made a statement. So far, more what we expected in the 3rd quarter than the 2nd quarter.
Caleb Henry on to kick off, and I notice now Tim Ballantyne folks gathering around Coach Mothershed a little bit more than they were as the 3rd quarter started.
Yeah, everybody's playing a little better right now, I think.
Henry with a kick to Rice. He'll field it at the 15, brings it up the far hash mark, and he runs hard up the field and tackled by a host of Tigers at the 34-yard line. Good return and good coverage by the Deshler Tigers. That's Floyd, Kai Cole, and Ben Norwood in on the stop for Deshler, along with about 4 more.
Yeah, that's one of the places we really miss our Ryan Goodlow on that. We love to call his name on the kickoffs. He always was usually one of the 2 or 3 people in on the kickoff.
Kai Cole banged up on the play. He's made the way off the field, but he's hurting. he'll be attended to by the trainer. So 1st and 10, Johnson on their second possession. They were 3 and out to begin the third quarter. Deshler with some breathing room, 35-21 over the Jaguars. Shotgun formation, twin receivers to either side. Sublett, the lone setback, stands to the right of McCray. Long snap count. Now he gets it. He's going to fake it looking deep, and they've got a man there, and Ballou is there, and it's almost intercepted by Dion Ballou. And give their wide receiver credit. It was Troy Mims who actually went defender, Akins, who went defender, Keith, and stripped Dion Ballou of the football.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he was open for just a minute. It looked like he'd got a couple steps behind Dion, but Dion made up the difference pretty quick, and then actually, like you said, was the receiver for a second, but Akins did a good job of knocking the ball out of his hands.
And he is cramping on the near hash as Johnson works left to right from the press box, from the dips toward the west end of Howard Chapel Stadium, the Tigers Den and the Tiger Fieldhouse here. Midway through the third quarter, Jimmy Gardner along with Keith Coates, Tim Ballantyne, statistician Nan Gardner. Glad you're with us on this Friday night. I want to remind you once again, folks, don't forget our good friend Greg Jones, Deshler alum, 1980. He's also a Gulf War Desert Storm veteran, attached to the 101st Airborne Division. Been diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma, kidney cancer, and has been an outpatient at Vanderbilt. And now, as he's exhausted his treatments there, he's getting into MD Anderson Monday, November the 2nd, and are having a benefit on November the 7th from 5 to 10 at the Underwood Petersville Community Center. Call Donnie Strait, 856-2423. Donnie Strait, 856-2423 for more information. And also, if you want to make a donation to help this fine man, a trust fund has been set up in his name at Lister Hill Credit Union. So all donations, I'm sure, be greatly appreciated, and your prayers as well, as he will be heading out to MD Anderson for treatment this coming Monday, November the 2nd. Greg Jones, 1980 graduate of Deshler High School. 35-21, Tigers on top, 2nd and 10 after the injury. And Dylan Boston on the blitz again, and the pass falls incomplete. McCray had to unload it, and the receiver slipped on his cut, and it goes incomplete at midfield, and it'll be 3rd and 10 Johnson.
Yeah, one adjustment that we have made that me and you've noticed since late in the second quarter is they found something that where Dylan Boston is coming free up the middle every time. So quarterback is trying to sit in the pocket, and he just can't because Dylan is coming untouched.
Well, what an addition he has been to this Tiger program. A 45-yard punt earlier in the game that got Deshler out of the shadow of their own end zone. And Johnson will take a timeout. We'll take timeout as well with your score. Deshler 35, Johnson 21. You're listening to Tiger football on the back. 3rd and 10, ball at the 33-yard line with the Tigers on top by 14 to a resilient Johnson Jaguar team. The Jaguars in their royal blue trimmed yellow uniforms with the yellow helmets. Low snap, McCray fields it, launches one down the middle of the field, and it's tipped by Dylan Boston, tipped by Boston and knocked away, incomplete, and Johnson will have to punt it away once again, facing 4th and 10 at their own 33. Or, as a coach for Johnson, Tim Ballantyne, do you say, hey, the season is about to be upon us, and let's go for it. Let's try to do what we can to win this last ball game?
I think they may be discussing that, Jimmy. I think there's nothing lost much for them to do so.
So here comes McCray. Let's see if Johnson does indeed go for it from their own 33 on 4th and 10. And as you said, a good test, Keith, once again for Deshler. The defense, and under center is McCray. 35-21, Deshler on top. Long snap count, trying to draw the Tigers off sides. Tigers sit still, and that could be huge in a third round or a semifinal game, Keith, with everything on the line. When the guy comes up and barks those signals out, and you're able to stay put.
Yeah, you're right, and that's a play that a lot of people will use probably as we get deeper. You know, once they cross our territory, get around about the 40, and they'll do it a lot with like a 4th and 4,
right,
where they'll get their first down. That was the only thing about that. With them having 10 yards, if they'd had 4 or 5, I would expect them to try to draw us off sides. But having 10 there, they're either going to have to pass
4th
it.
and 10, they take timeout once again. We'll keep it right here. And don't forget, folks, bring your shakers to the game next Friday night, because we're going to need our friend Ronnie Garner calls a Rose Bowl crowd out at Howard Chapel Stadium, because this is a very tough number 4 team coming in, Fairview Aggies, next Friday night at Howard Chapel Stadium.
Yeah, we'll need to bring our A game next week, and you know, it ought to be a good, tough opening round game, and just what you need, you know, to start our momentum and just keep improving right on through.
Winner of our game, Fairview and Deshler, takes on the winner of the Central High Wildcats from over in Lauderdale County and the Plainview, who was our first round opponent last year. Now, Johnson, after the timeout, Sublett sets up the punt. It's a high snap. They're going to fake it. Got a man open down the field, and it's picked off by Ballou, who closed ground at a penalty play. Dion Ballou came out of nowhere, folks, and read it, covered some ground, picked it off. And let's see, the penalty, could it be called interference on Deshler's other defensive back, Bates, who was down there in coverage on Mason Rice? And it indeed is interference against the Deshler Tigers. It was picked off by Ballou, but they say Bates got a hand on him before Ballou arrived on the scene. So that'll be an automatic first down for Johnson. So he indeed did say on the sideline, hey, season's on the line, let's go for it. And that is something else to work on now for Coach John Mothershed next week.
Yeah, but actually I thought we had it covered pretty good. I thought it was Jamel Morris that was on the coverage.
Okay.
And he actually had him covered, and this looked like to me when their guy jumped up for it and Dion cut in front of him, they just sort of collided. So I'll have to cue up the replay here on that one.
1st and 10, ball moved out to the 48 now for the Jaguars. 35-21 Tigers. Johnson on the move once again. Twin receivers to either side for McCray. Sublett the lone setback. Here comes a big rush by Ferguson, and it's almost intercepted by J.R. White, intended once again for Mason Rice, but White read it and had it actually in his hands, and it just couldn't hold on, and it gets away from him and falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 now, ball at the Johnson 48.
Yeah, the biggest change so far here in the second half is just the pressure that we're applying. If not from a blitz, that time from Evan Ferguson just bearing down on him, and they just don't have time to make a read. They've just got to let go of the ball.
But I think we'd be the first to say the Tigers are a little bit lethargic tonight after last week. It may be the field conditions and, of course, coupled with the big win last week, but
we lined up
not clicking on all cylinders is Deshler tonight. 35-21, however, they lead, and a penalty play.
We lined
it's
up
offsides against Deshler, and that'll make it 2nd and 5 for the Johnson Jaguars, and it'll also move the ball inside Tiger territory. It's May, Mills, Stephen Abels, and Evan Ferguson, then J.R. White, Dylan Boston, J.D. Williams, and Summerhill, Morris, Ballou, and Bates. But it's good to see Ballou and Jonathan Bates back in the game, folks, as they were both sidelined with injuries early in the contest, and both looked like they could be bad injuries. Shotgun with twin receivers to both sides. Fumble on the snap by McCray, and he'll fall on it at midfield. So he'll lose 3 of the 5 yards gained on the offsides back to the Tigers, and it'll be 3rd and 8. Ball at midfield with Johnson trailing by 14.
Yeah, big play right here, 3rd and 8, and open up a little bit of lead, but we need to shut them down right here, get the ball back, go on another one of our, long, time-consuming drives, and so we're playing good defense to start the second half.
3rd and 8 at midfield, and Johnson already proving they're definitely in 4-down territory. Shotgun from McCray. 3 receivers to the left, single receiver to the right, and a fumble snap. Going to look across the middle, and it's incomplete, intended for Rice, just overthrown. Austin Sullivan had checked in there as an extra defensive back. He had coverage on Mason Rice, but Dylan Boston was coming on another blitz, Keith, and I think the center looked up and just made a bad snap.
That's what I thought, too. I believe you're exactly right. He was either looking up and, trying to stop Dylan, because I think Dylan's been running by him before he gets his head up every time. And really a good play by the quarterback to pick the ball up. and get a pass off.
4th down and 8 at midfield. I don't know that Dillon could have stopped had it been on 2. Tim, he was reading it on 1 all the way.
Yeah, he sure was, and I think the center snapped the ball into himself.
Okay.
4th and 8 now. Here they go. They've already converted 1 4th down on this drive. Here comes everybody, and he'll get it away, and it's incomplete. Incomplete, and the Deshler defense holds under a huge rush by J.R. White and Dylan Boston and Evan Ferguson, all in there for Deshler, right on top of McCray. He unloads it, incomplete, and the Tigers will have excellent field position at midfield, 1st and 10, leading by 2 touchdowns, 35-21 over the Jaguars.
Yeah, as they say, sometimes everybody in the kitchen brought the kitchen sink that time. Everybody was in the backfield, and Johnson coaches are upset because they felt like we hit one of their receivers while he was looking back for the ball. So,
and the receiver is down on the field and no movement, and that's was so scary. His arms nor his legs have moved at all since he went down.
Number 2.
The coach is still talking to the official, and that kind of makes you feel a little bit better that he's able to at least focus his attention elsewhere for the time being. Ricky Bryant, our excellent trainer, is out. And now he's going to get up. Oh, thank the Lord, folks, because it looked very scary from here, Keith. No motion out of his arms or his legs, but he's now, as Coach John Mothershed makes his way out on the field. And he's up and off under his own power, so thankful for that. 1st and 10, Deshler Tigers. Ball at midfield. 35-21, Deshler on top with 4:46 to go in the 3rd quarter of play. I did not see the lick if he was on a slant pattern and we came up and hit him.
Yeah, just one of those where the receiver's coming across the middle, kind of looking back, and the defensive back is just playing his position. Can't really tell if he's going to reach up and catch it or not. So,
1st and 10, Deshler at midfield. They'll give to Gardner. He clips through the middle, and he'll have 6 tough yards inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Deshler Tigers. Rashad Thompson in there now, giving Chris May a break at offensive tackle. And as you said, Keith, the depth that we have been able to build is really going to be key here in this playoff run.
Well, it does. And then, if they've been able to play all year, and we're able to rotate some guys, and like you said, you bring in a Rashad and you don't have a big drop off because he's played there half.
2nd and 4 now inside the 45. Give to Gardner again, and he's off and running. Jay Gardner, he breaks the tackle, and down the sideline he goes inside the 25 to near the 20-yard line, and a late flag comes out once again down to the 15. Gardner had gone.
They're saying they fumbled, but they also threw a flag, so let's see, maybe it's a face mask too.
Val, could you tell what happened on the far side?
I could not see it. Illegal block in the back.
Declined, and it's 1st down. So it is a fumble, 1st down. Johnson inside the 20-yard line. We could not see the fumble on the far side, but Johnson comes up with it, and the holding call is against the Deshler Tigers. So that negates a big 32-yard run. And it's also our first fumble of this season, folks, but by one of our backs. So get that out of the way tonight before next week, because that pressure was building, I can promise you on them. 1st and 10, Johnson now inside the 20 at the 18. They'll give the sublet around the left end, and he'll have about 3 yards out near the 21-yard line. 3:47 to go in the 3rd quarter, 35-21. And it'll be 2nd down and 7 now, ball at the Jaguar 21-yard line.
Yeah, right here, if we could just hold them, it'd be hard to picture them going for it. I know they've gone for it. the last two times, but you wouldn't think from their own 20 we could at least get it out around the 50.
Second down, we'll call it 6 yards to go. Out of the shotgun is McCray. Should the Tigers be able to hold on, well, I'll say, man, this is just what we needed going into the playoffs, but it sure is frightening now. McCray going to launch it up, got a man wide open, but it's incomplete as our defensive back gets sucked in on the Z in, and then Mason Rice Z'd back out to the Deshler sideline and had the defensive back beaten on the play, but it was well overthrown, and it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, he's one of those guys in the right situation. He could be hard to handle because he's got enough speed to blow right by you, and you could throw him those underneath routes all night and then let him go long. And he's really hard. He showed all night long from the opening, from the first time he picked up a kickoff, that he's got a lot of speed.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Twin receivers to either side, shotgun for McCray. Good snap, good rush. He's going to drop back, have it complete for the 1st down. A little button hook pattern, 1 yard past the down marker on the far side at the 29-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Johnson Jaguars at their own 29.
Yeah, a good play right there that you'd like to see more teams use on all levels. You know, you need 7 yards. Defensive backs playing all 5 of you, go down, turn around about 8, 9 yards, and just a little pitch and catch, you know, for the 1st down.
1st and 10. Johnson on the move. Ball at their own 29. Twin receivers again. McCray going to look, setting up a screen in the middle, and it's well defended by J.R. White. No gain on the play. He stops him right in his tracks at the 30-yard line. Good job, middle linebacker J.R. White. And it's 2nd down and 10 with the Tigers up by 14 points with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And Keith, talking about Gardner's fumble on that last run, his first fumble since the Johnson game last year that was recovered by Deshler.
Yeah,
so we don't put it on the ground very often.
Yeah, no, we don't fumble very much. And occasionally, though, when you straighten up and you're trying to get that extra yards, which he was trying to break it down that right sideline, somebody's going to strip you from behind, and it's a little bit wet also tonight.
2nd and 10. McCray going to load up, launch it deep down the field, and it's almost intercepted by Johnny Bates, but it's overthrown and incomplete at the 30-yard line. But McCray shows you that great arm he's got and stops the clock with 1:53 to go in the 3rd. It's 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, he sent both people long. He sent four receivers that time all across the field on a fly route, but these two guys over here just forgot to look back for the ball. They were just running along, and Jonathan Bates was the closest one to catching it.
So you got Morris, Summerhill, Bates, Austin Sullivan, and Ballou. So an extra defensive back in the ball game, and only Boston and White at the linebackers for Coach John Mothershed. 4 down linemen, Ferguson, May, Mills, and Matt Blazer. And let's see if Johnson elects to take another timeout. Well, they stopped play, but no flag, no call of timeout. So the Deshler defense huddles, and they call it back set, ready for play on 3rd down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Deshler 35, Johnson 21. In the mud at Howard Chapel.
4 guys.
Yeah, 4 to the right, 1 to the left. No back in the backfield. McCray looking to throw. Going to have it, heave it down the middle. Dion Ballou is there and intercepts it at the 40-yard line. Went high in the air, and just his athletic ability takes over, folks, as he leaped over the top of 2 intended Johnson receivers and playing center field. Ballou comes down with a much-needed interception for the Deshler Tigers and another late flag near the line of scrimmage. And you just wonder if personal foul against Deshler. And that's one of those that second man gets caught. And that'll mark us 15 yards from the spot of the foul. And so not a well-played game by the Deshler Tigers. Certainly not the same team we saw just a week ago here at Howard Chapel Stadium. A little lethargic on both sides of the ball and being penalized more heavily. 2 personal fouls tonight, and the Tigers only have 4 on the season, so they've doubled that total tonight, and it'll be 1st and 10 Deshler way back at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, watching Coach Mothershed, and he's telling the refs exactly what you were saying a minute ago on the radio. Is he's saying you're catching the second. Go ahead, Tim.
I think the official timeout before the play was because they were getting a little chippy. I'll go ahead and let you.
1st and 10. They'll give to Summerhill around the right side, and D'Anthony Summerhill will have about 10 yards out to the 35. Good, tough running around right end by the senior tailback, having quite a night. That's his 14th carry for 81 yards on the night and a touchdown. It'll be 1st and 10, Deshler Tigers at the 35 with a minute and a half to go in the third.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I think the official stopped play for a minute ago because they were a little jawing back and forth, and it probably just continued after that play.
So 1st and 10 now. Let's see if the Tigers can go on a march here. Give to Will Minor around the right side, and Minor, he'll have 5 tough yards for. He's run out of bounds, and that ought to be a flag, and it is, as they would not stop on the far side, and that'll be the 15 yards back. So officials just trying to take control of this game, and you have to remember it is the last game of some of these Johnson guys' career, and nonetheless the last of the season for all of them. So frustration can take over here in the latter stages of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what happened. You know, I think they were a little frustrated a little while ago on the hit on the receiver, and then it's like Tim said, it's been getting a little chippy back and forth, and seeing some guys go down around some guys' knees and ankles and talking back and forth. So it's about time the referee, kind of blows a whistle and gets everybody calmed down.
Take it inside the 45-yard line. Gardner comes off to get a new helmet.
Jimmy, right down here below you, something's walking through.
Oh, man, Halloween come early tonight.
Okay.
1st and 10. They'll give to Summerhill around the left side, trying to bounce it outside. Can he do it? And the speed of Johnson takes over, but they grab his face mask. It appears the flag comes out. Only a 2-yard gain. As Gardner checks back in the game at fullback, Minor in there at wingback. Personal foul, face mask, so back-to-back personal fouls against the Jaguars. And that'll be another 15-yard mark-off, and they'll take it inside the 30-yard line of Johnson. So with the help of the Jaguars, Deshler making quick work of this drive. As they'll mark it down to the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 Tigers with a minute to go in the third with Deshler on top. 35-21.
Yeah, you just can't give a team like Deshler, 30 yards worth of penalties. I mean, you're just putting them right down there in the red zone almost.
Crunk, Zach, Rashad Thompson, Ben Norwood, then Blazer and Foster. Kai Collier split into the left side. Gardner and Summerhill in the backfield. They'll give to Gardner over the left side. He pushes forward for a couple of tough yards to near the 25, and they come in and hit Parker Wright, our quarterback, and the officials talk to him, but no call. It'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 7 to go for the Deshler Tigers.
Yeah, big, another big drive right here that could just about ice it down as we come down to like inside of 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, Jimmy.
Gardner with 9 carries for 65 yards. Summerhill 15 carries for 82 yards. So once again, that duo getting it done for Deshler. 2nd down, 7. Summerhill in motion. They'll give to Gardner on a penalty play, and he'll have about 4 more, but it's coming back. I think the man in motion turned upfield a little too quickly, and it's going to back us up, make it 2nd down and 13 now for Deshler.
Yeah, we need to get our focus back here coming into the fourth quarter, just getting a little sloppy on both sides here.
And let's see if that will be the last play of the third quarter, if they'll mark it. And Deshler will let the clock run out. Ballou is in there for Kai Cole. And Johnson will take the 5-yard mark off. Illegal procedure. They'll mark it back to the 31, make it 2nd down. We'll call it 12 to go for Deshler. And that may be the last play of the third quarter. So we'll go to the fourth quarter of play with your score. Deshler 35, Johnson 21. You're listening to Tiger Football on the Big Dog. Back after this 30-second timeout. Welcome back to Howard Chapel Stadium. Jimmy Gardner along with Chief Coach Tim Ballantyne. You're listening to Tiger Football on the Big Dog. Deshler on top, 35-21 from Howard Chapel Stadium. Next Friday night, the Fairview Aggies, representing Region 7, will roll into Howard Chapel Stadium. And let's hope that a dry field awaits them, as the Tigers and Johnson have muddied up what was a beautiful layout at Howard Chapel Stadium tonight. 2nd and 12 at the 31. Tigers on the march. Right under center. He'll give to Dion Ballou around the left side. Ballou dances in, now dances outside on a penalty play. Ballou will score. Let's see if it's a holding call against Deshler. And all of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, folks, a very little penalized team has been hit heavily with the yellow flags. And they're costly flags. They brought back a touchdown earlier in the game, and it is a block in the back against the Tigers that will negate a 31-yard touchdown run by Dion Ballou. Would have been his 3rd touchdown of the night. Something that definitely Tim Ballantyne, the Tigers, will need to get worked out as the playoffs arrive.
That's true, Jimmy. These little penalties are costing us a lot, and against a really good football team, it could be real problems for us. So it's something we really need to work on.
Ball at the 37 now. 2nd down, 17 to go for Deshler. It's Bates in there at tailback, Summerhill at wingback, Gardner at the fullback, and Kai Cole split out to the right side. Here comes Summerhill in motion. They'll pitch it back to Gardner, and he fumbles it again on the pitch back, just lost the handle. My, oh my. The pitch was there, and he just couldn't come up with it. And he's coming off injured now. As he went back to try to track the ball down, he was clobbered by Johnson. And Rashad Thompson as well on the play is injured. He's walking off very gingerly. But you just don't see that very often. The pitch was right there to Gardner, and he just lost the handle on it before he ever got it. 1st and 10, Johnson now, as Thompson now hustling back out. He's got to play some defense, folks. 1st and 10, he gets down, and they hike the ball, give it to Sublett, and he makes the tackle. How about that? Yeah. What hustle by Rashad Thompson. Limps off the field, hustles back on, and makes the stop in the backfield for the Deshler Tigers.
Yeah, I think a little message sent by the coach there. He just said, get back out there, and, we got to play sometimes. Sometimes you're going to get a little bummed up, and you just got to kind of work through it. And I believe he's all right. Somebody had just sort of like kicked him in the shin or something. So
2nd and 10. Ball at the 43-yard line. Johnson trailing by 14 points. Shotgun formation with 3 receivers to the left, single receiver to the right. McCray going to run the option. Pitch it to the tailback, and he's run out of bounds along the Johnson sideline after a 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 9. Ball at the Jaguar 45-yard line. 35-21 with 10.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Deshler on top.
Yeah, Chase Drake on the option that time, and picked up about 3 yards, and a big hit back here on the quarterback by Chris May after he let the ball go. And as we've been talking about, then they continued to jaw a little bit. The quarterback got up and said something to him. So a lot of big licks being passed right now, and just, the tension is kind of big between them.
3rd and 9. I just want to get out of here without an injury at this point.
I'm with you.
3rd and 9 at the 45. 3 receivers to the left. McCray going to load up, launch it downfield, and it's incomplete. Ballou came charging in, looking for another interception, and it's over his head, and it's 4th down. 8 yards to go at the 45. Clock stops with 9:54. However, Tim Ballantyne, huge help for Deshler, because the Fairview Aggies will throw the ball probably 35 to 40 times next Friday night, and Johnson has already attempted 25 through the air.
I think it's going to be very important tonight that we've seen this. Could be very helpful next week in this first-round playoff game against Fairview.
4th and 8 at the 45. Johnson going to go for it. Here comes Morris on a blitz. McCray on a penalty play has it incomplete, intended for Rice, who couldn't hold on to it, but it'll be a holding call, most likely against Johnson, that the Tigers will decline. Holding against Johnson declined, and boy, I know that fullback Jay Gardner glad to get that reprieve after the fumble, and it'll be 1st and 10 Deshler, and they don't lose any yardage on the exchange. So 1st and 10 back at the Johnson 45-yard line with the Tigers on top by 14.
Yeah, they did that. That was Evan Ferguson was coming off the end that time and looked like he was going to get to the quarterback, and they grabbed his jersey and turned him around pretty good there just to be able to get the pass off. So, like you said, we'll take back over at the 45-yard line, and hopefully I'd go right back in there and turn around and hand it off to Jay first play. That's
Official stop play. They're talking with the head official. The judge on the near side calls my timeout, runs out, says something to the referee, and it's 1st and 10 Deshler. Ball at the Jaguar 45 with 9:45 to go in the game. Deshler 35, Johnson 21. Dion Ballou 4 games in a row now with either a kickoff or punt returns. He took the opener, 93 yards for the score. 1st and 10, Summerhill in motion. They will give to Gardner over the right side. He's got a big hole, and he'll have it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. So following your advice, Keith, get your man back in there and get him running with some confidence.
We need him next week, and hopefully 3, 4, 5 games after that, three or 4 games after that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you don't want him going with something in his head. You'll give him the ball. I'd give it to him 2 or 3 times in this drive.
2nd down, 4 to go for Deshler. Looks like the Tigers, although Johnson's shown the ability to score quickly,
yeah.
It looks like the Tigers are going to finish up 9-1, folks, in the regular season. Miner in motion. They'll give to him around the right side, and Will Miner, who's had a couple of big runs tonight, will have the Tiger first down. Tough running for the sophomore wingback, Will Miner. Good genes, as we've talked about all year. Son of Emmanuel Young, one of the great runners in Deshler history. And Miner will take it for the Tiger first down. 1st and 10, ball at the 34-yard line.
And he's definitely been an added weapon as the years gone on, and that's another big positive. And with a slipping Dion some in the backfield the last few games, it gives you a lot of different weapons to study during the week.
1st and 10, Tigers inside the 35. Give to Summerhill over the right side. He's got a big hold. DeAnthony could be gone. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. 5, yes. Tiger touchdown, Summerhill from 34 yards out, and no flags on the field. And Deshler takes now a commanding 41-21 lead with 8.5 minutes to go in the game.
Beautiful cut there by DeAnthony. And as soon as he saw the goal line, he seemed to find that little extra burst, and he wasn't going to let the guy catch him from behind on that.
I believe his 2nd touchdown of the night for Summerhill.
Yeah. He had a 1-yard run earlier in the game. Yeah, Summerhill with 2, and also J.R. White with 2, and Dion with 2.
Caleb Henry on to attempt the extra point. Good snap. Jamel Marsh has it down, and Caleb Henry has it up and through. And your score with 8.5 minutes to go on senior night from Howard Chapel Stadium, it's Deshler 42, Johnson 21. You're listening to Tiger Football on the Big Dog. Back after this 30-second timeout. Welcome back to Howard Chapel Stadium, regular season finale. The Tigers taking on 5A Johnson. The Jaguars showing all of their athletic ability tonight. They're only 2-7 on the year, but they certainly have the athletes, Keith, to compete in that 5A region, and have up until the past couple of years.
Yeah, they do. And then, like you said, when they got their momentum going middle of the second quarter, they really showed a lot of athletic ability and especially speed-wise.
Caleb Henry with a low kick. It will bound down and be fielded at the 7-yard line by the Johnson receiver, and he'll take it upfield and around the right end outside the 35 to the 39-yard line. And once again, the first teamers make their way out onto the field. 8:24 to go in the game. Deshler up by 21. Sloppy night.
Well, we won't question tonight whether they got their work in, will we?
Oh, yeah. Everybody was
we always worry about that, and always worry, are we getting a little out of shape and stuff like that. And we pretty much played a full 8 minutes, 24 seconds left, pretty much played a full 4 quarters.
Tim, a very physical game tonight.
Johnson's got some size. They've got loads of speed, and they've, other than us just, we've imposed our will on them, but they're not quitting, and they're getting after it with what they do have.
1st and 10, Johnson ball near the 40-yard line, and they'll fake to Sublett and have it incomplete. Tried that little quick hitter, just wide receiver stand up and throw it to him, but it was a little bit behind him. He couldn't set his feet and get to it. And Johnson trailing by 21, time running out with 8:18 to go in the game. Now, looking on down the bracket, folks, the winner of Fairview and Deshler takes on the winner of Plainview and the Central High Wildcats from Region 8. The winner of those two games takes on the winner of Oak Grove and Alexandria, and then Midfield and Jacksonville. 2nd and 10. Looking deep, McCray with time, fires it, caught for a first down inside Tiger territory. Good pitch and catch. That time by the Johnson Jaguars, Cavante Price on the reception from Ronnie McCray, and that'll move the chains. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, a big pass play there, and they don't show any signs of letting up, do they? He really likes to throw the ball around, and we said before the game, we look for him to possibly throw 30 passes, and they're rapidly approaching
top that.
that.
27 right now. He's 8 for 27 for 171 yards. 1st and 10, dropping back again with receivers everywhere. McCray now going to run for it, chased by Ilkin Mills and caught by Ilkin Mills at the 40-yard line. After a gain of only 1 yard, and a vicious late hit in the back of Evan Ferguson by the Johnson Jaguars way after the play, and that'll be a personal foul, I'm sure, against Johnson. And you just don't want to see this game get out of hand.
Now, how big a play is that, though, Jimmy, when your nose guard or defensive tackle chases down their quarterback?
And who's a 6'3", 215-pound athlete.
Yeah, what does that tell you about your team speed right there? And
7:38 to go, 42-21. Coaching staff from Deshler wanting an ejection on that play. And we're going to call to see if the Tigers call timeout. They'll mark 15 yards off against Johnson. And with somebody's timeout on the field, we'll take a quick 30-second timeout as well. You're listening to Tiger Football on the Big Dog. Welcome back to Howard Chapel Stadium. Coach John Mothershed talking with 3 officials now. He has them huddled up around him on the Deshler sideline. 42-21, Tigers on top. Thursday night special here from Howard Chapel. And Keith, we need to take this time to remind everyone how fortunate the Deshler Tigers are to have volunteer coaches, Coach John L. Jones, who's right there talking with the defense now, and then also Coach Brianni Rutland and Coach McCullough. All volunteers, all working with the Deshler Tigers, I believe, for the 2nd or 3rd year. So Coach Jones, with a ton of experience on the defensive line, I believe, started at UNA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so, too. And, like you said, good young coaches relate well to these players, get a lot out of them. And these are guys that you'll see coaching, hopefully at Deshler, but somewhere they'll have regular coaching jobs.
All of them with bright careers ahead of them, I guarantee. All right, now back ready, set for action on 2nd down, 25, back to the Johnson 45-yard line. That's been our problem all night. We've had the light on.
Okay.
We never call a game with a light on. Finally got it turned off here with 7 minutes to go. 42-21. Deshler on top. Ball at the Johnson 45. 4-man front, 3 linebackers in there for Coach John Mothershed's defense. McCray going to launch his 29th pass way down the field, and it's incomplete. Intended for a racing Xavier Massey down the far side. It's incomplete, and it's 3rd and 25. And boy, does this stretch the game out when you have 30 passes in the ball game. Still 7.5 minutes to go in the game.
Well, not only 30 passes, but if you're 8 for 30, it makes a lot of difference.
2 ambulances, folks, have converged on the far side of the field, and I think some chest pains from one of the Johnson fans, and so hopefully that will all turn out well. 4 receivers to the left now for McCray. Empty backfield, single receiver to the right. Big rush by Thompson, and Ferguson. Can Rashad get him? He finally launches it incomplete. Well covered downfield by 5 defensive backs for Deshler, but Rashad Thompson with a huge effort on Ronnie McCray, and it'll be 4th and 25 now with the Tigers on top by 21.
Yeah, defensive line just not allowing him to get comfortable in that pocket. I mean, somebody's coming free. Evan Ferguson all night has been coming off this end, applying a lot of pressure when this guy over here is not tackling him. And that time he just grabbed him around the waist and pulled him down.
4th and 25. Sloppy condition. We just hope the field will dry out and be ready for next Friday night. We need a fast track as Fairview, a big team, not blessed with a lot of speed. On a penalty play, stops the play, and they will huddle up, decide who jumped off sides. It's illegal procedure against the Jaguars. Tigers lead by 21. It was 22-0 at the end of 1, folks, and then Johnson came storming back behind a 90-yard fumble return. Made it 22-21. Tigers on a good drive right before the half. Made it 28-21 at the half. And then the Tigers have scored twice more to up their lead to 21 points. DeAnthony Summerhill, the last one on a 34-yard run that put him over 100 yards on the night. 4th and 30 now for the Jaguars at their own 40. Here comes White on the blitz. He'll hit him as McCray gets it away, and it's incomplete. J.R. White with a big rush, and the Tiger offense will take over 1st and 10 from the Johnson 40 yards. So Matt Blazer, Randy Foster, Jason Zack, Will Miner, Ben Norwood, Micah Crunk, Chris May, Gardner Summerhill, and Parker Wright, the senior signal caller. Regular season finale here from Howard Chapel. Tigers trying to get ready for hopefully a 5-game playoff run toward Bryant-Denny Stadium and a 2009 state championship. 1st and 10, give to Gardner. He's got a big hole. Jay Gardner may be gone. 20, 10, 5, yes, Tiger touchdown.
No flag.
Gardner from 40 yards out. And, boy, I believe he needed that, Keith. As you said, a big confidence booster for him going into next week, and that'll put him over 100 yards as well.
Over 100 and give him a touchdown for like the 9th or 10th straight game, I believe, which is good for your fullback, especially in your wing T offense. You know, we've talked about that before. You go back years and years and years, and what a line of top fullbacks we've had.
And Chris Crunk's son, Micah Crunk, senior center, helping open up a big hole that time for the junior fullback. And he takes it in for the score from 40 yards out. 48-21 Tigers. Low snap, Morris gets it down, and Henry has it up and through. So with 7:05 to go, it's Deshler 49, Johnson 21, and Tim Ballantyne, sloppily played game by Deshler. However, you have to look at one fact. At the half, Deshler's defense made some adjustments, and they have totally shut down the Jaguars in this second half.
Just an overall dominant performance in the second half by the defense. Offense, but I think Coach Mothershed got to him at the half.
Tim, you had a shout out?
Yeah, I wanted to thank Robert Mullen, the principal at the Deshler Middle School. Deshler Middle School sometimes doesn't get a lot of credit, but have a lot of kids here that go to the middle school. Robert Mullen does a fantastic job, and he's pretty much saved my bacon down here the last 2 weeks because I had problems with my radio. And thank you, Bemo.
So you've caused him listening to the broadcast, what you say.
Oh, he brought a second radio this week.
Okay. He's prepared.
He's prepared. Ex-Navy guy.
Yep. I guarantee he does a great job up there at the middle school.
Yeah, he sure does.
I like it, Keith, because you see him when they're picking up paper out there, he's picking it up with them.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't just have the students out there on
you're
the
right.
work days.
Leading by example.
Yep. Caleb Henry on the kickoff. Low end-over-end kick will be fielded by Mason Rice at the 14-yard line. He showed great speed all night, and trying to take it around the right end is Rice. Austin Sullivan there. Can he bring him down? Yes, he can.
No.
My goodness, he somehow slips away, and he'll finally be tracked down, and boy, just another huge hit. Vicious lick on Micah Crunk from behind. And, I mean, he just blindsided Micah Crunk, no flag, as Crunk somehow makes his way off the field. But, boy, he is about lost it on the sideline, has our coach. Very frustrated, because that is twice that our guys could have easily been sent to the hospital, just blindsiding shots.
You know, we don't like to say anything, but he literally knocked him almost into the ref's feet. I mean, the ref was just standing there, and it was the play was 25
yards away.
Running him out of bounds over there, and this was on the hash mark right here. So that's how far away that was.
49-21. 6:49 to go in the game. Three receivers to the left, single receiver to the right, and they'll give to Sublett over the right side. He's got running room down the right side. Goes Cornelius Sublett, tripped up on a touchdown saving tackle by D. Anthony Summerhill at the 34-yard line. But Tim Ballantyne, this Coach John Mothershed working the officials now, wanting to keep this game clean as possible toward the end.
He is very upset. I don't blame him. He thought there should have been an ejection on the play a little earlier against the play against and he's not happy at all with the officiating tonight.
6.5 minutes still to go. 49-21. Deshler on top. It really seized control after it was 28-21 at the half. 1st and 10, Johnson inside the 35 to 33-yard line. 4-man front for the Tigers. J.D. Williams, Dylan Boston, J.R. White, and they'll give to Rice over the left side, and he's tracked down from behind by Chris May. And he'll have about 4 yards to go, and here we go again. A lot of talking after the play, and the official's going to call timeout and talk to both captains.
You know, I told you he's about 4 minutes late on that one. You know, that's been going on for
5-yard gain, and I've got my heart in my throat, folks, because I am afeared for an injury.
Yeah,
and we need everybody on board to make a playoff run in 2009.
He's going to fix you on that right there. He's going to get the starters off the field.
Here come the Cody Dobbs, Ben Floyd, Trey Rowell, Aaron Howard, Rod Winston, Stephen Abels, Ced Daniels, Kai Cole in there, Austin Sullivan on a penalty flag. And also for the Deshler Tigers, Grant Johnson in there. Taylor Posey, the junior, at defensive tackle. So it's Dobbs, Posey, Winston, and Abels. That's your 4 linemen. Then Rowell, Floyd, and Aaron Howard, your linebackers, and Daniels, Cole, Tucker Norwood, and Austin Sullivan, your defensive backs. On 1st down, deflected by Cody Dobbs, his 2nd deflection in as many weeks. So Cody Dobbs gets a big left hand up and knocks it incomplete, and it's 3rd down and 11 now for the Deshler Tigers. The penalty, I believe, was illegal procedure against Johnson, and 49-21. And checking in the ball game for the Tigers, Thomas Freeman for Kai Cole.
Yeah, and the whole front line that time was in there. Jimmy Prine, Treasure, Cody Dobbs, Stephen Abels, like you said, is in there. Taylor Posey is in there. I believe Rod Winston is in there, and they were all deep in the backfield that time.
3rd and 11 now. Twin receivers to either side. McCray with time to throw this time, going to launch it deep, and it's incomplete, underthrown, but great coverage on the far side by Ced Daniels. And it's 4th and 11, and a Johnson player is injured. One of the linemen, I believe. is injured for the Jaguars, and they've got to be tired, Keith. Man, this has been a physical football game here in the regular season finale.
Yeah, it has, and looking across, it looks like they've got about 15 guys standing on the bench, so I didn't count it as the game went on, but I'm sure most every one of their starting 11 goes both ways because, like I said, only having about 15 substitutes. So,
and I will say this: the Johnson band, they didn't get on the field to perform due to the conditions. Performed on the track on the far side, but they have rocked and rolled at Howard Chapel all night long from the bleachers. And that's what you love to see in high school. Folks getting into it and having a good time regardless of the score.
Yeah, they're having a good time. We should have walked him around a little bit and let him put his microphone because they've been playing. They play right through the plays, right through the timeouts. They never stop.
They're not watching the game.
No, it's like a concert.
49-21, and another penalty is dropped. Before the play can get off, a flag by the near side judge. Or line judge, excuse me. And it's illegal procedure against the Jaguars. Make it 4th and 16 to go. Ball will be backed up outside the 39-yard line. Rod Winston, just a junior. Stephen Abels, Taylor Posey, Cody Dobbs, all juniors across that defensive front now, Keith. They'll be ones that we'll be counting on just a short year from now. Shotgun formation, twin receivers. McCray with a big rush by Abels to launch it down the middle. Good coverage by Ced Daniels once again with Mason Rice. And this is their starters, folks. And the Deshler defense holds. And coming in now is Justin Cantrell and company, just a freshman, folks, and what a sensational year he's had, trying to ready himself to possibly take over the reins as a 3-year starter for the Deshler Tigers. And Floyd will stay in there. Daniels will stay in there at center for the Tigers. Taylor Gross, at guard is Taylor Gross, and at center Adam Patterson, as Cantrell will give it to Chandler Lewis on the buck sweep. Gets a good block from Will Davis around the right side, and he'll get 4 yards out to the 44-yard line. 49-21, Tigers on top with 5 minutes to go in the game. Next week, Fairview from Region 7. It's about halfway, folks, between Coleman and Arab. They'll bring a 6'5" quarterback into Howard Chapel Stadium, and if you think McCray threw it 30 times tonight, wait till you see probably a 40-pass performance next Friday night as they'll give to Norwood. He'll be stopped after a couple of yards out to the 45. Well, let's get those linemen in there. That is Floyd, and then Daniels, also Alex Sharon, Will Davis, Joe McElwain, the freshman tackle in there. Kiefer Ritter checking in the ball game for Daniels now. We've got a number 43. We need to get his name. He'll check in at the left tackle. Tight end, double tight end set. They'll give to Norwood, and nothing doing as he's pushed back. Second effort will net him a yard gain out to the 46. It'll be 4th and 4, and let's see if Coach Hams doesn't elect just to go for it right here on 4th and 4 with the Tigers up 49-21 over 5A Johnson.
Did you get it, Tim? 43?
43 is 8th grader Thomas Milstead.
Oh, man, and what a player he is going to be, folks. We saw him just a couple of weeks ago over at Sheffield, and he is going to be one more tight end if that's what he evolves into. He is a big, tough, strong kid, as Thomas Milstead, just an 8th grader, brought up just this week, I believe. And he'll make a playoff run with the Tigers, and deservedly so. As on 4th down, the Tigers go back to Norwood, can't push the pile, and that will turn the ball over on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 Johnson with 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Jimmy Gardner along with Keith Coates, Tim Ballantyne, Thursday night special on a sloppy Howard Chapel Stadium turf. And the Tigers looking to go 9-1, and what an impressive year it's been so far, Keith. And, of course, at Deshler, we all want a 5-game playoff run, but I told Nan, if it ended tomorrow, a very satisfying year. The players, a lot of unity, have played together, have kept their composure most of the time, and it's just been a great year.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Alluded to that in the pregame show that they've represented the school and the community well.
Shotgun formation, they'll give to a new tailback, and same result, not much doing. About 3 yards, I believe. Let's see who's on the bottom of the pile for the Deshler Tigers. That's Cody Dobbs. And Stephen Abel's in there, defensive end and a defensive tackle for the Tigers. Rowell in there at middle linebacker. Floyd will check out Chandler Lewis in there, and also Thomas Milstead now double duty, and I know that makes Granddad Bobby Riggs very happy as he's seeing 2 grandsons perform tonight. As they'll take it around the left end, Tucker Norwood with a good stop on a much bigger tailback, and Norwood will bring him down for about a 4-yard gain. But Mr. Riggs, Keith, with Thomas Milstead and Justin Cantrell, both his grandsons, and they both got, looks like, great careers ahead of them at Deshler High School.
Yeah, getting a lot of early playing experience right here for young guys, like you said, getting thrown into the fire right here still against most of their first teams because they don't have a lot of subs to put in the game.
3rd and 1. Give to the tailback. He'll have the first down, and it's Chandler Lewis and Tucker Norwood, I believe, on the stop for the Deshler Tigers, but they'll have it to the 25-yard line. And also checking into the game is Aaron Howard once again. He'll spell Chandler Lewis now. Milstead will stay, 1st and 10, and Keith, remind me to make a point to you right after this play. Tim, you'll love this one. 1st and 10, they'll give to the tailback around the left side, and it is that Tucker Norwood there. He gets through him, and then Ben Floyd along with Trey Rowell, the junior, on the stop with 1:22. 49-21, Tigers on top, but I was thinking about Thomas Milstead, an 8th grader brought up. Jay Gardner was brought up as an 8th grader for the Russellville game, and boy, we couldn't wait till we got home. How'd you like it, son? How'd you like it? Of course, we watched every warm-up play. There he is, there he is. He said, I hated it. If my helmet hurt, he won't let us take him off on the sideline. Had a headache all night long as they launched it into the end zone. It's intercepted by the Deshler Tigers as McCray let it fly, and it's Seth Daniels with a big interception about 5 yards deep in the end zone with inside a minute to play. The Tigers will get it at the 20-yard line, and maybe Cantrell will have time for 1, maybe 2 plays. 49-21, it looks like, will be your final score. But, yeah, that was kind of a surprising fact for us. It's not always as much glory as it looks like,
Yeah, but that usually changes as they get out there and get a little playing time and start getting the feel of it. So that's, but those are always interesting things.
Yeah, you talk about a mom and daddy couldn't wait to get home. He said, oh, I hated it.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Deshler Tigers. Cantrell will fall on it. And he may have to do that one more time depending on how much time the official lets elapse before he sets it ready for play. And I don't see any way that he's going to be able to let it go 25 seconds. And indeed, he can't. So Tigers will snap it one more time and finish up the regular season 9-1. Heading to the playoffs, 49-21, your final score. The Tigers on top of a tough Johnson Jaguar team here from Howard Chapel Stadium. Jimmy Gardner, Keith Coates, Tim Ballantyne with you for Tiger football on the Big Dog. And Keith, let's talk about this. It's a 5-game season now, really a 1-game season. Yeah. Fairview next Friday night, but how far do you think these Tigers can go in these playoffs, and what's it going to take to make that run to Bryant-Denny Stadium?
Well, I just, Jimmy, I think the way they've been playing, was as good as our offensive and defensive lines are. I don't see why we, I just have to see somebody. I wouldn't say that we'll be the favorite in every game, but I don't see any game that we shouldn't have a legitimate chance to win. When you've got such a strong offensive, defensive line, we've got good backs, we've got good secondary linebackers, the whole thing. So I don't see any reason that we can't make a run real deep and to just basically play our football and not make turnovers and capitalize on their mistakes.
Well, What you have to think about, too, is you got to dodge that bullet. And maybe this was our bullet tonight because we really did not play that well tonight. And maybe that was our bullet. But you remember just 2 short years ago, a trip to the finals could have easily been cut short in the first round at Howard Chapel Stadium as Deshler had to go overtime to defeat number 4 seed Boaz out of Region 6.
That's right, and you make a good point. You know, there's going to be a bullet you got to dodge. There's going to be some adversity you're going to have to face, and I don't think anybody expected or was ready to look up on the scoreboard tonight and be 22-21 late in the second quarter. So, I mean, we had to sort of regroup and kind of take a step back. Something like that, because there'll be a time probably, like you said, in the playoffs when we'll look up and it'll be 22-21 or 21-21, and we'll have to kind of reach down inside ourselves and find something, you know.
And Tim, don't discount the play of Parker Wright's leadership. As you can see, all night long, bossing folks around, getting that motion man to come on, setting the backfield before the plays run. But at some point in time, that leadership is going to have to come to the field. Only attempting, I think, 2 or 3 passes tonight was Parker Wright. He was 1 for 3, but at some point you got to feel like the Tigers are going to have to move it through the air.
Well, that's a good possibility, Jimmy. Somebody's going to stack the line with 8 in the box, 9 in the box, and maybe force us to throw.
They've tried that, you know, but sooner or later you got to figure somebody's going to be able to make it happen.
Well, that's true. That's true. And, you know, Parker, like I say, he was 1 for 3 tonight, but he threw one away on purpose, which was really a very good play because he had nobody to go to, nor the time. So he did the thing he should do. He rolled out, got outside the pocket, and threw the ball away just like he needed to do.
And we have not, Keith, thrown the ball this year because we haven't had a chance really to throw the ball, either a big lead or a muddy field.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I really thought Parker did a great job tonight of just managing the game. You know, he gets in there, he moves people around, he sends guys in motion. He doesn't fumble any snaps or anything like that. And I really thought he had an excellent game. And like you said, wasn't really a need and field conditions to really throw the ball. And, you know, he's pretty much shown us the last several weeks when he needs to pass, you know, we can pass. And, they're going to try it. They're going to put in 8, 9 guys. But you know what? If they let Dion Blue and some of our other receivers run a post pattern and get behind them, I guarantee you he can hit them. So.
Yeah, he's already proven that time and time again this year. So kudos to the Deshler Tigers, 9-1 on the regular season, but not without some scary moments tonight with Bates going out at one point in the game, and then also Ballou with an ice pack at one point. And joining us now, Coach John Mothershed. And, Coach, congratulations on a 9-1 season. A little bit lethargic, maybe a little bit more sloppy play tonight than you wanted.
Well, I think a lot of conditions went into that. Field conditions part of it, and just I think we jumped on them too early, too quick, and kind of had a letdown like sometimes we do. And, you know, you warn the kids all the time, a team like Johnson, they got the athletes that if you kind of open a gate, they'll pop through it and make a game out of it. I tell you what I'm very proud of. I talked to the team at halftime, and the feeling was very reminiscent of the Cherokee County last year. You know, when we had the lead and we was winning the game, but we felt like we was getting beat. So we really challenged our kids the second half to learn from our mistakes and not have the same thing happen to us this year that happened to Cherokee County. So I'm very proud of our kids. Second half, I thought we dominated the second half, and we came out with a whole different mindset that second half.
Well, your defense did not allow a point in that second half, held them at bay, and meanwhile the offense continuing to churn out